When I was 9, my dad locked me out of the house in a snowstorm overnight, and the neighbors found me half frozen on their porch by morning. 16 years later, he was the one begging me for forgiveness. Growing up, my mom worked nights and was barely a presence, but my dad seemed to make up for it. He coached my soccer team. He showed up to every recital. To everyone in our town, he was the devoted single-ish father doing his best, and people loved him for it. So when I turned 9, I expected the usual. A small cake, maybe a movie. Instead, he shook me awake that morning grinning and said we were driving up to the lake house his coworker had lent him for the weekend. I'd never been anywhere like that. I couldn't stop smiling the whole drive up. We got there late afternoon. It was beautiful and completely isolated. The nearest other cabin a half-mile down an unplowed road. That evening, my mom called the landline, and my dad took it into the other room. When he came back, something in his face had changed. His jaw was tight. He told me too calmly to go put on my coat and boots and wait on the back porch while he set something up as a surprise. I stood out there in the cold, excited, watching snow start to come down. Then I heard the deadbolt slide shut behind me. I knocked. I called for him. The lights inside went off one by one. I could see his shape moving past the window, and he never once looked at me. I spent that night curled against the door, then stumbling through the dark toward the only other light I could see. The couple in the cabin down the road found me collapsed on their steps near dawn, lips blue, barely conscious. The husband told me later they almost didn't make it to me in time. My mom drove up the second the hospital called her. My dad's story was airtight. I'd wandered off during the night looking for them. He'd searched for hours. He was beside himself. He cried in front of the deputies. Everyone believed him because everyone always believed him. He was the good father. My mom, quiet, exhausted, the woman nobody really knew, got looked at sideways for not being there. I went to live primarily with him after my parents split that year because the court saw the same charming man everyone else did. And I spent the next 16 years believing my mother was the one who hadn't cared because that's what he told me. Gently, repeatedly, for years. She sent cards. I threw them out. When people asked about her, I said we weren't close, that she'd checked out on us. Years passed. I moved away, built a life, kept my distance from both of them honestly. Then last spring my dad died. A fall down the stairs, found by a neighbor. At 25 I was planning his funeral. He didn't have as many real friends as his reputation suggested. The service was small. I was standing near the back when the door opened, and my whole body went cold. It was my mom, older, smaller, gray now. The first time I'd seen her in over a decade. After everyone filed out, it was just us. I was reaching for my coat when she said quietly, "Now that he's gone, I think you're old enough to hear the truth." I stopped. The truth about what? About the night at the lake. My jaw tightened. I know what happened. I wandered off. You weren't even there. That's what he told you, she said, her voice trembling. That's what he told everyone. She sat down. He called me that night from the cabin. He wasn't right. He told me he wasn't bringing you home. He said he'd found a place no one would look, and he told me what he meant to do. Her hands were shaking. I called him back screaming. I told him I'd already phoned the sheriff in that county and given them the address. I hadn't yet. I did it the second I hung up, but I had to make him believe help was coming so he wouldn't take you somewhere worse. I think that's the only reason he panicked and put you out where someone might find you, instead of driving you further up that mountain. I sat down hard on the bench. The neighbors found me. Because the dispatcher I begged kept the patrol cars circling that road all night, she said, crying now. I called every 20 minutes from 200 miles away. I couldn't reach you. I could only try to make sure someone did. She looked at me. And then he told everyone I was the absent one. And I let him, because no one would believe the quiet ex-wife over the perfect dad. And fighting it might have meant losing you to him completely. I thought about 16 years of resenting her. Every card I'd torn up. "I'm so sorry," I whispered. She pulled me in and held on, and we both just cried. She lives 20 minutes from me now. We have coffee every Sunday. I'm still learning who she actually is. The person I was taught to throw away turned out to be the one who never stopped circling that dark road, refusing to let me freeze.